E12.7. As an auditor for the firm of Grady's and Good, you encounter the following situations in auditing different clients. 1. JR Spa is a closely held corporation whose shares are not publicly traded. On December 5th, the corporation acquired land by issuing 5,010 euro par value ordinary shares. The owner's asking price for the land was 138,000 euros and the par value of the land was 124,000 euros. Okay, and I see that over here they're actually asking us to journalize the prepare the journal entries for each of the situations above. Okay, so for the first one that happened on December 5th. Okay. Okay, so what do we have? Here we have that they acquired land, right? So our land has to go up. That's the first thing. And we see that over here they gave us two value, right? They said that the asking price was 138 and the fair value was 124. Well, this selling price is only brought to us in order to confuse us. We are never going to use it. We only care about the issuance price, the fair value of the land. In this case, our issuance price, it is 124,000. That's the first thing. Now, remember that I told you that every time that we issue shares, in this case, they didn't say anything, which means that we are issuing ordinary shares. We're not issuing any kind of preference shares. So here, if we were to credit, for example, share capital ordinary, remember that this one, what is that? That is the number of shares that were issued times the par value. If we multiply these, we're going to get 50,000, right? 50,000 is not equal to 124, which means that we're actually going to need share capital ordinary and share premium ordinary in order to cover that difference. So this is why over here, we're going to have share capital ordinary with the value that I just told you. This times this gives us 50,000 euros, and there's a difference, and this difference we are going to get it from the share premium ordinary, which is going to be 120,000 minus this 50,000, and that gives us 74,000. Okay, the second entry happened on when? June 1st, right? Okay, so Novak AS is a publicly held corporation whose ordinary shares are traded on the securities market. On June 1st, it acquired land by issuing 20,010 euro par value ordinary shares. At the time of the exchange, the land was advertised for sale. Again, this number does not matter, right? It doesn't matter how much was advertised for sale. The sales were selling at 11 per share. Okay, so again, we are acquiring land, so our land has to go up. Now, this number 2 is a little bit tricky because the only number that we actually have, full number, is this one, right? So you might want to debit it here. But this is wrong. Remember that I told you that it really does not matter how much they're selling it for, how much they're advertising it for. What matters is the issuance price. For number 1, they already gave us, right, the fair value of the land. In this one, they do not give us. But what they gave us was the number of shares that they are issuing, in this case 20,000, and they also said that these shares, the 20,000 shares, were selling at 11 per share. Well, if we have these two information, then we can actually compute that issuance price is just going to be this 20,000 times this 11, and that gives us 220,000 for our issuance price of the land. Okay, now again here, if we compute these together, that will give us 200,000, correct? But this is different from 220,000, which means that we are again going to need both accounts, both share capital ordinary and share premium ordinary. Why is that? Because we have a difference between that 200,000 and that 220,000. If we didn't have that difference, then you would just have share capital ordinary. You wouldn't need the share premium ordinary. So this share capital ordinary, it's going to be that 20,000 times that 10, which is going to give us 200,000. And the share premium ordinary is going to be the difference of 20,000.